Hi, this is Arango of littleguy.cgi.com, and today I want to show you how to model a cat head in Blender 2.75a. So let's get started. Okay, if this is your first time in Blender, I recommend you go to File, User Preferences, go to Input, and then choose Select with left click. Blender's default select is with right click, and this may confuse you if you're coming from Adobe or other 3D programs. Also, while we're in the user preferences, I recommend you select add-ons and that you put a check mark next to 3D navigation. Scroll down, put a check mark next to Mesh F2, Mesh Inset Polygons, Mesh Loop Tools, as well as Mesh Relax, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom and put a check mark next to User Interface Pi Menus Official. Okay, when you first come into Blender, the first thing you see is this cube. If you look to your left, here this is a navigation tab, and you'll see that as long as you put a check mark in that add-ons, the top add-ons that said 3D navigation. By clicking these buttons here, we can flip to the different views in Blender. In Blender, basically, when you come in, you are in object mode. Object mode is for moving whole objects around. We'll spend most of our time inside of edit mode. So you get to edit mode by clicking here and then selecting edit mode. In edit mode, you can manipulate your mesh by selecting vertices, edges, or faces, of which you can select the vertices here, edges here, as well as the faces here. This right here is the manipulator, and you can use the manipulator to pull your vertices, edges, and faces as well. Talking about the views again, you can also use the middle mouse button. Just by holding it, you can rotate your view around your object. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select front here. When you look here, you can see we're in front perspective mode. We're going to click here, this button, to switch to front orthographic mode. It reminds me kind of a blueprint mode, because orthographic mode is basically you see things in 3D very close to as if they look like they were in 2D. Anyway, with our cube selected here, if you don't have it selected, you can press A and you'll select the entire cube. Press W to bring up your specials menu. You're then going to choose Subdivide Smooth. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to look over to your left and you'll see something that says number of cuts. You're going to take this up to 3. Okay, what you're going to do now is roll your mouse wheel to zoom in. You're going to press A to deselect. You're going to make sure you're on vertices select right here. You're going to select right here. You're going to hold shift, select here, as well as here. If your manipulator gets in your way, you can roll your mouse wheel to zoom in and then hold shift again. And you're just selecting these 3 vertices right here. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom back. I'm now going to select right to go to right view. I'm going to press the O key to turn on the proportional editing tool. You can tell that the proportional editing tool is on by seeing this blue circle right here. I'm going to press G. The reason why I press G is so that I can see the area of influence of the proportional editing tool. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull down slightly. And as I'm pulling down, I'm rolling my mouse wheel. And as I roll the mouse wheel, it's increasing the proportional editing tool. And it just allows me to control the shape and get the shape to the way that I want it to be. So I'm going to left click here to lock in. Okay, now what we're going to do is hold the middle mouse button to turn to look right here. We're going to press A to deselect. We're going to select here to select face select. We're going to press the O key. When you look here, you'll see that turns off. So let's press O. Also, it's important where your cursor's at while you work in Blender. Right here is this whole thing is the 3D view. If you hold your mouse over here, here, or here, depending on where you hold your mouse, your shortcut keys change. So just be aware of that. I'm going to press C now for paint select. I'm just going to click here. Paint select just allows you to paint selections basically. I'm going to right click, get out of paint select. Okay, now what you're going to do is hold the middle mouse button like this. I'm going to press E to extrude. On the, see that purple line that just popped out, and I'm going to press Z. The purple line went away, so I'm going to press Z again. and that just shows me a preview line of where I'm extruding to. So I'm going to extrude down like this. I'm going to left click to lock in. I'm now going to press S to scale and then Shift Z. And what that Shift Z did was I'm saying scale the geometry that I have selected except on the Z axis. So now I'm just going to pull like this, then left click to lock in. Okay, now we're going to hold the middle mouse button and turn to the front. I'm actually going to press S to scale on the X axis to bring that in a little bit. I'm going to left click to lock in. I'm going to hover my mouse right here. I'm going to press A to deselect this orange selection right there. So I'll press A now. I'm now going to press Control R. That puts a loop cut preview up. All right, I'm going to roll the mouse wheel one time to put a second loop cut in. I'm going to left click to lock that in. When you left click one time, you still can move your loop cuts, which are those glowing, orange lines you see there. I'm going to pull down slightly. I'm going to left click the second time to totally lock in. Now I'm going to press S to scale and then Shift Z just like we did before, and then push in just like this. Then I'm going to left click to lock in. Okay, what we're going to do now is press the N key to bring up the properties panel. I'm going to scroll down while looking for display, which is right here. I'm going to click here. I'm then going to unclick this check mark next to grid floor. This is the grid floor right here. Then I'm going to press N to take away the properties panel. I just took that away because it was slightly distracting me. The grid floor was. Okay, now we're going to select front. You want to make sure you're in front orthographic mode. You can see it says front ortho right there. Again, right here is the button where you can switch back and forth between perspective and orthographic. So if I click here, there's perspective. I click back here. Now we're back in front orthographic mode. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to press the A key to deselect those lines right there. We're now going to press Z, which brings up this pie menu. Then we're going to choose wireframe. The reason why we did this is we want to select this whole half of the head right here. If we didn't put wireframe on, at least the way I have my blender set up, if we selected a face, a vertex, or an edge here, it would just be the front of this mesh, but it wouldn't select towards the back. So by going to wireframe, it allows us to select this entire half of the mesh, and that's what we want. So we're going to go to face select. I'm going to hover my mouse about here. I'm going to press B for box select. I'm going to left click and hold and drag very slightly past the middle line. Then I'm going to let go of the left mouse button, and now you can see I have this whole side selected here. The reason why I did that is because as you work in 3D, one of the nice things about working in 3D is you can apply to your mesh what's called a mirror modifier. What the mirror modifier does is it effectively allows you to do half of the amount of work that you normally would do, where all of the work that you do on this side is pretty much duplicated or mirrored to this side. So we're going to set that mirror modifier up now. To do that, we need to delete this half of the geometry. So we're going to press X to bring up our delete menu. We're then going to choose faces to delete. Okay, as we go through setting up this mirror modifier, it's very important that this orange dot is directly in the center of your mesh for the mirror modifier to work correctly in the way that we're setting it up here. So your orange dot or your point of origin should be right in the center for this to work correctly. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to hover our mouse here. I'm going to roll my mouse wheel. See what looks like a wrench here? This is our modifiers panel button. I'm going to click here. Then we have this panel that says add modifier. I'm going to click here. Then I'm going to select mirror. I'm then going to select or put a check mark next to clipping. And what this clipping does is it will allow our mirrored geometry, which is right here, to not pull apart from our actual geometry. And so that we can have our mirrored geometry look just like our geometry right here, we can click this button right there. Okay, now that we have that set up, we'll press the Z key and then we'll choose solid. Okay, now what we're going to do is adjust our edges for our face. We're going to go to edge select here. We're going to select here. We're going to pull this down. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn. I'm going to select here, pull this down, hold the middle mouse button to turn again, pull this down, go to vertices select and pull this down right here. Go to vertices select, take the manipulator, which this is right here, and pull that down. I'm now going to select this vertice right here, pull this down. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button. This is a pretty cool thing. I'm going to press A to deselect. If I select here and then hold Control and then left click here, Blender will take the shortest path among I believe it's vertices, edges, and faces, which is actually pretty useful. So I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn. I'm going to select here, then I'm going to hold Control and select here, and then push this down. I'll now select here, just get the manipulator to move, select here, hold Shift, select here, and then push this down. Okay, what we're going to do now is hold the middle mouse button, turn back towards the front. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to hold Alt and select right here. Because I'm holding Alt, it selected the entire loop right here. I'm just going to push this up slightly like that. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to hold Control and press the R key while holding Control. I'm going to left click one time to make the loop cut kind of lock in, but it's still movable. Now I'm going to pull it down slightly. Then I'm going to left click a second time to get it to totally lock in. Okay, what I'm going to do now is press A to deselect. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button, turn to the side slightly. I'm going to select this vertice right here, push down slightly. I'm going to select this vertice, hold the middle mouse button to turn towards the back, hold Control, and then select this vertice here while holding Control. So I grab that whole loop, then I'm just going to push this down. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn back towards the front. Okay, now what I'm going to do is hold Shift and the middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side. I'm going to select this vertice right here, push this down, and as I go through this modeling process, I kind of like look to make like almost like it looks like sunglasses right here to me, and that's pretty much what you want for right now. Okay, I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to hold and turn to the side. This right here is our muzzle area, so we're going to click here, pull this back some like that. I'm going to select this, pull that back a little bit like that. I'm going to select here, hold Shift and select here, push this down slightly like that. What we're going to do now is press A to deselect. We're going to go to face select. We're going to press C for paint select. We're going to select these four faces right here. I'm going to right click to get out of paint select. Now I'm going to press E to extrude and then left click to lock in. Doesn't look like I did anything, but what I did was I just created new geometry on top of the old geometry, and because that new geometry is there, now I can press S to scale and scale down like this, and you can see we have a mouth forming. So I'm going to take the manipulator and just push towards the center like that. Okay, what we're going to do now is hold the middle mouse button and turn to the side. We still have these faces selected here, and because this is the muzzle area for the cat, what we want to do is, with these faces still selected, is take our manipulator and push forward like that. Okay, what we're going to do now is roll the mouse wheel in. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn to the side. I'm going to go to vertice select. I'm going to zoom in more, and the main reason I'm zooming in is to make this manipulator smaller so I can grab these three vertices right here. Okay, so we're going to select here. I'm going to hold Shift, select here as well as here. Then what I'm going to do is take this manipulator, pull straight back like that. I'm going to hold to the middle mouse button so you can see the side. We don't want it pushed in so much that way, so I'm going to roll the mouse wheel back. So we'll pull out to the side some, not quite that far back, about like that is what you want. Holding the middle mouse button, just taking a look. Okay, now what we're going to do is press A to deselect. We're going to go to face select here. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button. I'm going to press C for paint select. I'm going to roll my mouse wheel to make the paint area smaller. I'll select right here. I'll right click to get out of paint select. What we want to do now is press X to bring up our delete menu, then choose faces to delete the faces. We're then going to go to edge select. We're going to hold Alt and select here. We're now going to press E to extrude, left click to lock in. We just created new geometry. We're then going to press S to scale that geometry in. Like that. I'm going to take the manipulator and push in something like this. Now I'm going to roll the mouse wheel in. We're going to go to vertice select. We're going to select here. I'm going to roll in more. Main reason I'm rolling in is just to kind of move the manipulator out of the way, I'm going to hold shift and select here as well as here. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom back. I'm going to pull to the side here. I'm going to pull back. Just hold the middle mouse button just to take a look. Pull back a little bit more. Pull to the side a little bit more. Okay, now we're going to press A to deselect. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom back. I am going to go to face select. I'm going to select right here, here, as well as here while holding shift. I'm going to press E to extrude, left click to lock in. I'm going to press S to scale that new geometry that we just created like this. I'm going to take the manipulator and push in slightly like this. I'm then going to go to edge select. I'm going to select here, push this in like that. I'm going to go to vertice select, push this in. The reason why I'm pushing all this stuff in is I'm kind of lining up the vertices. So I'm just pushing this in here, pushing this in. Pushing this in. I'm going to go back to edge select. I'm going to select right here, push this over to the center of this, these two faces right here. I'm going to go back to vertice select, push this over, push this over. Okay, now we're going to select here and push this over. Then I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to take a look. I'm going to press A to deselect that vertice. Okay, I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to hover the mouse here. I'm going to press Control R. You can see when I press Control R, there's our preview showing that a loop cut is coming in. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel one time to get another loop cut. Then I'm going to left click once, then left click a second time to get these to lock in. Okay, I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to roll my mouse to zoom back. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn to the side. I'm going to go to face select. I'm going to select here. Hold shift, select here, here, as well as here. I'm now going to hold the middle mouse button and turn to the side. Okay, now I'm going to press E to extrude on the Y axis like this. Then left click to lock in. I'm going to go to edge select. I'm going to hold shift and middle mouse button to pan, roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to select here, push in, push down like there. Select here, push up, select back, select here, push up, select back, select here, push up, select back, select here, push up, and select back as well. I'm going to roll the middle mouse button to zoom back. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to go to vertice select. I'm going to select here. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button, hold shift and the middle mouse button to pan. I'm now going to hold control and select right here. I'm going to push down here. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn back to the front. I am going to press Control R to put a loop cut right here. Then left click to lock in. Left click again, totally lock in. I'm going to go to face select here as well as here. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn to get a better look. I'm going to press E to extrude, left click to lock in. Just created new geometry. I'm going to pull that new geometry out like this. I'm going to press S to scale, left click to lock in, hold the middle mouse button to turn, push straight down, push straight back like that. Okay, I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to temporarily turn off this clipping. I'm going to make sure I'm on face select, which we are. I'm going to select here. I'm going to hold shift. I'm going to select here. The reason why I temporarily turned off clipping is so that we can actually have this line here split. So what we're going to do is press E to extrude, left click to lock in, press S to scale, left click to lock in. Okay, what we're going to do now is press E to extrude on the Z axis. So if it's like how it is here, we'll press Z again. It'll constrain it being blended just to go right up. We'll press S to scale in. Left click to lock in. Okay, what we're going to do now is make sure we're on face select. We're going to press A to make sure nothing's selected. See, I didn't think anything was selected there. If you're ever unsure if you have something selected, you just press A. If you see everything selected, then you press A again. You know that everything is not selected, because A is select everything, so I generally like to do that. Anyway, with face select on, we're going to press C for paint select. We're going to select right here. I'm going to right click to get out of there. I'm going to press E to extrude, left click to lock in. I'm going to press S to scale to create new geometry. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button just to change the view slightly. I'm going to press S to scale on the Z axis here. I'm going to press S to scale on the X axis like there. Okay, now I'm going to go to vertice select. I'm going to select right here. Push this out some, select this, push this down some, select here, push this up some, select here, push this out some, select here, push this in some, select here, push this down. We're just shaping the eye. Some right here. Push that out some. Okay, we're going to go back to face select. We're going to press C for paint select and select right here. I'm going to right click to get out of paint select. Okay, what we're going to do now is hold the middle mouse button and turn to the side. See how this is flat right here? We don't want that, so we're going to take our manipulator, pull back about like that. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to take a look. Okay, what we're going to do now is press A to deselect. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to take this view right here. We don't want this curve right here. We want this where the eyes are at, is what I'm trying to show you. We want that area to be more flat. So what we're going to do is hold the middle mouse button to change the view. We're going to select here, hold shift, select here. We're going to press O to turn on our proportional edit. You can see the blue circle here showing you that it's on. We're then going to press, I just held the middle mouse button so we can get a better view. We're going to press G and then Y to constrain forward, and we're just going to push forward like that, just so this area is more flat here. So I'm just holding the middle mouse button to take a look. So we'll left, not click anything. We're going to press A to deselect actually. I'm going to press O to turn off the proportional editing tool there. Okay, I'm going to go to vertice select right here, pull this back just slightly. Hold the middle mouse button, select right here, pull that back just slightly. Turn back towards the front. I'm going to press A to deselect. Okay, what we're going to do now is make sure we're on face select. We're going to press the C key, and we're going to paint off this area right here. You're going to be careful to try to not get a geometry that you don't want. So we want to all this right here. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button. I just right click to get out of paint select. I'm pressing C to go back into paint select. I'm gonna right click to get out of paint select. Okay, we're gonna press C here as well. So yeah, all of this right here, and you can hold the middle mouse button. You will look into the nose. See that right there? We want that as well. So I'm gonna press C to select all of that. Right click, get out of paint select. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn the view back towards us. And let me show you this just in case you, suppose you had paint select on, you select it right here. I'm going to right click, so I selected inside the mouth. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn to the back. Oh, there you go. So I selected through the mouth, right? I'm going to hold shift and the middle mouse button to pan. So you just, if you select geometry by mistake, you just, hold the middle mouse button, spin your view, and then press C for paint select, hold the middle mouse button, and that will deselect what you selected with paint select. So I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn the view back towards us. Okay, and we want to make sure we have this check mark back in for clipping. Definitely before we scale anything. We're going to press O to turn on the proportional editing tool. Let's press G to see how big our area of influence is. A little bit too big, so we'll shrink it down to about like that. I'm going to left click to lock in. I'm going to press S to scale. I just pressed G a second ago just so I could see the area of influence, just because I'm used to pressing G, and I just pressed S to scale, and you can see there's the area of influence as well there. So anyway, we're going to scale down. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel as we scale down. Left click to lock in. I'm going to take the manipulator and push this kind of towards itself. Okay, we're going to press O to turn off our proportional editing tool. We're going to hold the middle mouse button and turn towards the side. We're going to take a manipulator and push this straight out some, about like that. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn back towards the front. We're going to press S to scale on the X axis. And as we scale, we bring the mouth in and see the nose is spreading out, and that's actually what we want. I'm going to left click to lock in. Now I'm going to actually pull to the side some like this. About like that. Okay, I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side. Hold the middle mouse button to turn a little bit more. I'm going to press A to deselect. See this right here? Let's zoom in some there. Hold shift and middle mouse button. I zoomed in and zoomed back. I'm going to go to vertices select. I'm going to select here, hold shift and select there. What that is the inside of the nostrils popping through the outer geometry of the nose a little bit. So I'm going to hold the middle mouse button. All I'm going to do is just push it in somewhat and then push it down a tad. I'm then going to press A to deselect that geometry, those just two vertices we had there. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn back to the side. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn to the side. Again, we're going to select here, hold shift, select here, push down, push out slightly there. We're going to select here, hold the middle mouse button and turn, hold shift here, or hold shift to select all those. Take the manipulator and push this up here, hold the middle mouse button and turn. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn back towards the front. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn towards the side. I'm going to select here, zoom in, hold shift, select here, pull this out to the side, something like that. Hold the middle mouse button to turn, select here, hold shift and select here. Take the manipulator and pull out there. I'm going to select here. I let go of shift. Now I'm holding shift again. I'm going to select here. I'm going to take this, push this out like that. Holding the middle mouse button to turn again. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to hold shift and middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to select this, pull this back some here, push this forward here. I'm going to go to face select. I'm going to press C and paint off these polygons here, or faces there. I'm going to right click to get out. I'm going to press E to extrude, take this straight up like this. I'm going to left click to lock in. Okay, I'm going to hold the middle mouse button, turn to the side. I'm going to press S to scale on the Y axis. Left click to lock in. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button, turn to the side. I'm going to press S to scale on the X axis, like this. I'm going to select here, hold shift, select here, press E to extrude, left click to lock in, press S to scale, left click to lock in. I'm going to press E to extrude again, left click to lock in. Hold the middle mouse button, turn to the side. I'm going to push this back some. Hold the middle mouse button, turn again. Press S to scale. Okay, we're going to press A to deselect. We're going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. Hold shift and middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to press, I rolled the mouse wheel to zoom back. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in again. I'm going to make sure I'm on face select. I'm going to select here, hold shift, select here, here, as well as here. I'm going to press E to extrude, left click to lock in. I'm going to press S to scale, left click to lock in. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side. Pull that back just slightly. Okay, I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom back, hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm actually going to press A again to select everything. I am going to, we're in the modifier, here's the modifier panel right here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to select subdivision surface to put a subdivision surface on here. I am then going to press Z and select shade smooth. Okay, we're going to click this button here to make it look like this subdivision surface is applied. We're going to take this view up to 2. Now what we're going to do is click here, then go to scope mode. Scope mode is a mode in Blender that allows you to take your mesh and pretty much move it around like clay. I'm going to click here for the tool options, and what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to use the inflate brush, and this kind of does like what it sounds like. It inflates geometry. So I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in, hold shift and the mouse button to pan. And just with the default strength of the inflate brush, I'm just going to come around here, zoom in a little bit. And as I rub here, basically the geometry that we have around the mouth is expanding. I'm going to press F to scale. You press F and drag back, you'll make your area of influence more. If you press F and push in, you'll make it smaller. And we just want to, below here, I'm just rubbing the mouse right here. Again, I have the inflate brush just to get this to come out more. Okay, we're going to roll the mouse wheel back. I'm going to go here, select the grab brush, and I'm actually going to push in here a little. Pull out to the side here a little teeny bit. I'm going to click here, go back to edit mode. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to press C for paint select. I'm going to select all of this right here. I'm going to press the O key to turn on the proportional editing tool. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom back. I'm going to press G. I'm just going to move this up and in. Roll the mouse wheel back some. About like that. Left click to lock in. Press. Actually, let me take a look here. Okay, I'm going to press A to deselect. Okay, what I'm going to do now is go to edge select. I'm going to select right here, hold shift and select right here. I'm going to press G so I can see my area of influence. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom that down some. I'm going to pull it to the side some like this. Hold the middle mouse button. Select here, push this down just slightly. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to press Z for wireframe. I'm going to hold the control button and then hold the right mouse button, which allows me to draw a loop, select, and take this loop up around this part of the face right here. I'm going to select face select. I'm going to press O to turn off the proportional editing tool. With all that selected, I'm going to pull this back some. About like that. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to go to the navigational tab here. Click this arrow to get everything to show. I'm going to select the right view. I'm going to press A to select everything, A to make sure absolutely nothing is selected. I'm going to hold control, hold the right mouse button, and grab right here. Push this forward some, like that. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to select the front view right here. I'm going to right click, hold shift and middle mouse button to pan, roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to press Z and then select solid. What we're going to do right here is we're going to press C for paint select. Select all this. I'm going to right click to get out, hold the middle mouse button, turn to the side. Press C for paint select right here. Right click to get out of paint select, hold the middle mouse button, turn to the side. I'm going to press O to turn on the proportional edit. Wait a second. Press G. There we go. Roll the area of influence to make the area of influence of the proportional edit go up. So we can just, position the ears downward a little bit. I'm going to click here, go back to scope mode. We're going to select tools. I'm going to press F to scale. Push this face up a little bit. Push this up from the sides. Make this a little bit rounder. Pull that ear down a little bit more like that. Yeah, scope mode is kind of a fun mode because it's most of the work is done. So you can you have the basic structure, so you can kind of come in here and get things pretty much how you want them to look fairly easily. So I'm going to press F to not scale. F. I'm going to push up. I'm going to just change these eyes a little. You can see how easy it is to do it here. Press F, drag back, push even more here. These ears a little bit sharper there. Hold the middle mouse button to turn. Zoom in close here. I'm going to hold shift and middle mouse button to pan. Zoom in a little bit more and we'll pull that forward a little bit more. Push this up some. Hold the middle mouse button and turn to the side. Okay, I'm going to click here. I'm going to select the inflate tool. You can also see from here you can deflate as well. We'll inflate this some more. What we're going to do now is we are going to click here, go to edit mode. We still have this selected here, so we're going to press A to deselect. We're going to press this I to temporarily hide the subdivision surface. Okay, with face select on, we're going to also press O to turn off this proportional editing tool. We're going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in, hold shift and middle mouse button to pan. We're going to select here, hold shift and I'm holding the middle mouse button. I'm going to hold shift and select here, and what we're going to do is press E to extrude, left click to lock in, press S to scale some. I'm going to push this in like this, push this down. I don't want that bunching up there. I'm pressing S to scale, pushing in some like this, hold the middle mouse button to take a look. And what I'm going to do now is go to edge select, roll the mouse wheel to zoom in, roll again to zoom in some more. I want to select here. I'm going to press O to turn on the proportional editing tool. I'm going to press G to see the area of influence. I'm going to roll it down. A lot of times if you're zoomed in, you can't see it. It's probably because it's too big. Zoom it down fairly small. I'm going to left click to lock that in. I'm going to push out this way. Push out this way more. Push up some. Now we have our geometry, so we can have that, have cat's mouths, kind of have that split there. So we're going to select this eye to turn proportional editing tool back on. I'm going to press O to turn the proportional, not the proportional editing tool, sorry, the subdivision surface we turned on back there. Press O just a second ago to turn the proportional editing tool off. Pushing in here, like this for that. I'm going to select here, zoom in, mainly for the purpose of just getting past that manipulator. Push down some and push in some there. Select here, push in, there we go. Let me go to this vertex here, push out some there, push out some there. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom back. Okay, we're going to press A to deselect. We're then going to go to face select. We're going to select right here. I'm going to hold shift and select right here. I'm going to press E to extrude, left click to lock in. Just push this forward just very slightly. What we're going to do now is click here, go back to sculpt mode. I'm going to click here, go to grab mode, and just deal with his mouth a little bit. Hold him in the mouse button and turn to the side. I'm going to grab this and push this forward some, like that. Take the mouth and drag that back some. Okay, this actually made a wrinkle there for us, and we can actually use that. Hold them in the mouse button, turn to the side. I'll push this up some. I'll press F, drag back, grab this chin. Pull this, pull that back. We'll grab this and pull that in some. I'm going to click here, go to edit mode. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button here. I'm going to press Control. Put a loop cut there. I'm going to press S to scale on the Y axis here. I'm going to select here, hold Shift, select here. Push this forward some there. Zoom in, hold the middle mouse button, adjust the view, hold the middle mouse button, adjust the view again, push this down, push this out some. Select here. Push this in. So a lot of this pushing and pulling is just, trying to get it to now that we have the basic structure, trying to get it to look more like a cat. So that's basically what this stuff is here. I'm doing cats' chins aren't too big compared to this part of their mouth, so we're actually, this part is bigger than the chins. We're actually going to select here as well as here as well as here. We're going to press O to turn our proportional editing tool on. I'm going to press G, roll the mouse wheel, press Z, pull this down some. We'll select here as well as here. Press G, roll the mouse wheel to shrink it down some and pull this back some so this stuff isn't all bunched up there. And see this stuff right here, like how it looks. If it starts getting bunched up, one of the cool things is we can go into the scope mode and use the smooth tool. As a matter of fact, we're going to click here now. Let's hit A to deselect. We'll click here, go to the sculpt tool. Just down a little bit more. Just small adjustments. Zoom in, pull that down some more. I think I'm going to pull this out to the side some more. Just hold the middle mouse button and take a look. Okay, we're gonna click here, go back to edit mode. We're gonna go to phase select. We're gonna press O to turn off the proportional editing tool. We're gonna zoom in, we're gonna select here, hold shift, select here, here, here. We're gonna press X to bring up our delete menu, then choose faces to delete. I'm gonna hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side. I'm gonna go to edge select. I'm gonna hold Alt, select right here, hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side a little bit more. I'm gonna press O for the turn the proportional editing tool back on. I'm going to press G and then Y. Roll the area of influence up some. Just push that eye out some. Like that. With this edge still selected, I'm going to press the O key to turn off the proportional editing tool. I'm going to press Shift S to bring up our Snap to menu. I'm then going to choose Cursor to selected, which puts the cursor right in the center of this loop that we have selected. This entire time we've been in, or almost the entire time we've been in edit mode. We're going to click here, go to object mode. We're going to press Shift A, which brings up our add to menu. We're then going to choose UV sphere. You're going to look immediately to your left. You'll see a thing that says add UV sphere with segment. You're going to select where it says 32. Put in 12 there. Select where it says rings. Put in 12 here. Then left click to lock that in. You're then going to click here, click edit. You're going to press S to scale around the size of the eye socket. You're going to press R to rotate on the X-axis 9, 0, and then left click to lock in. Okay, now what you're going to do is hold the middle mouse button, turn to the side. You're going to pull this eye back some. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side again, push in a little bit. Okay. Right now we're in global mode. We're going to go to our navigational tab. We're going to select front. See where it says view global / local. Local is a mode where we can concentrate just on this eye. So we're going to click here to go to local mode. We're then going to select right to go to right view. Actually, we need to go select front to go back to front view. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to press C for paint select. Sorry. Face select I need first. Then I'm going to press C for paint select. I'm going to select right here. Right click to get out of here. I'm going to select right view now this time. Then I'm going to press S to scale on the Y axis -1. And then left click to lock in. With this still selected here, I'm going to pull back just slightly like this. I'm now going to hold the middle mouse button and turn towards the front. I'm then going to press A to deselect, C for paint select, and select all right here. I'm going to right click to get out of paint select. Okay, what you're going to do now is hold the middle mouse button and turn to get a more 3D view. You're going to press E to extrude on the Y axis and take this straight back. Left click to lock in. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn the eye more towards us. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to go to edge select. I'm going to hold Alt, select right here. I'm going to press S to scale on the X axis like this. Then left click to lock in. I'm now with that edge selected. I'm going to hold Control, press B, pull out slightly like that. Then left click to lock in. Right when I did that, which was what I did was a bevel, this bevel menu pops up. And what you want to do here is select segments 2, and then where it says profile, you want to click here and press 1, and then left click to lock that in. You're now going to press A to deselect. You're going to hold Alt, select this edge right here. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to hold Control, press B, pull, not too much, about like that. Left click to lock in. Now what you're going to do is press A to deselect, A to select everything. Last time I had you do the subdivision surface by going to add modifier. This time we're going to hold Control and press 2. And you still can do the regular way, but it's a nice shortcut to know. So now we have a subdivision surface on here. We're going to press Z, select Shade Smooth. We're then going to select this button to make it look like the subdivision surface has been applied. We're then going to select View Global / Local to go back to the local view. Okay, now we're going to click here, go to object mode so we can take a quick look, see what we have here. I'm going to click our head right here, go to edit mode, zoom in. I'm going to hold shift and middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to, with edge select on, select this edge right here. You can, even though the eye is blocking it, I believe I have the edge anyway, and I do. So what you're going to do here is you're just doing some minor adjustments to make the eye fit better. So I'm going to press O to turn the proportional editing tool on, G so I can see the area of influence. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel so you can, see the area of influence go down. I'll push this up some. Push this out some. We'll try to grab right here. So that's not what we want. You can always press Z, go to wireframe. Actually doesn't help too much in this situation. Okay, I'm going to press Z, go back to solid view. I'm going to press A to deselect. We can also select view global/local. Pops us out a little bit, but we can now grab this. Oop, I didn't grab it. Grab right here. And then just click this again and go right back, but now we know we have that edge there, so that's one way of dealing with it. And what you want to do here is just, you're going to grab your vertices, your edges, and you are getting the shape of how you want your cat eye to look since you have your pupil there. So with this, we'll pull this, I'm going to pull this actually up slightly here. Zoom back to take a look. I'll zoom in. This right here, hold the middle mouse button to turn, roll the mouse wheel to zoom in, holding shift and the middle mouse button to pan. I'll grab this edge right here, hold the middle mouse button, push this down slightly. We'll grab this, we'll push in slightly here. Push in slightly here. And what we're going to do is we're going to press O to turn off that proportional editing tool, press A to deselect, hold Alt, select this edge right here. Then we're going to press E to extrude, left click to lock in, take our manipulator and draw straight back, drag straight back I should say. We're then going to press S to scale in some. We're then going to press E to extrude, left click to lock in, drag back a little bit more. You can kind of use this eye here to see like what's going on. And then press S to scale. And it's just we don't want there to be, where you look and you can see past the eye there. Okay, what we're going to do now is click here, go to sculpt mode. And we can play a little bit easier here with our eye. I want my cat to be like a warrior cat. So we'll have his, his eyes not quite opened as much. Hold them in the mouse button and take a look. For this, some of the stuff right here, what we actually can do is click here, go to smooth. Typically, I find that with geometry at the level we're working at now, that this smooth strength is too high, so I'll take it down pretty low. I'll select here, smooth this out somewhat. Same thing like here, smooth that out. Pretty cool, huh? Touch there. Touch here. Actually, you can use it to grab some corners and smooth them out. Okay, we're going to click here and go to our grab tool. I'm going to grab the ear. You want this bottom part of the ear to be about down to the, almost down to the eye. Just pulling this down some. The ears should be pointier like that. This part of the mouth you actually want to be towards a little bit past the center of the eye, so we'll grab here, push that in like that. Grab this, push this in, we'll grab some of this and push this in. Okay, we're gonna click here, go to edit mode. We're gonna go to our navigation tab, select view global/local. And what we want is, particularly is this right here. We're going to click this button again and roll the mouse wheel, hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side. Right click to get that to jump back. I'm going to press O for the proportional edit. I'm actually going to press Alt O, which is the connected proportional edit. It's like the proportional editing tool, but it only affects what's connected to the area that you're grabbing. So I'm going to press G so I can see the area of influence, Y to pull this out some. Like that. I'm going to select here, pull up some. Then we'll grab this to make this, pull off the eye. Some. I'll actually grab here. Push this back some. Okay, I see. This here. Select here. I don't want this too bunched up, so I'm actually going to press O to turn the proportional editing tool off. I'll press O again to turn it off. It didn't turn off because it was on the connected proportional editing. I'm going to press Control Z. Push this down. This one up. This to come out here. Push this over here. Select here, push this down a little. Select here, push this down a little. Just holding the mouse button, just taking a look. Okay, we're gonna click here, go to scope mode. We're gonna go to our tools. We're gonna click here, go to the smooth brush. We're gonna press F to scale this down just by pressing F and pushing in. Smooth this out a little here, not totally. Go to the grab tool, press F, pull out some. Set this side a little bit. Hold them in the mouse button to take looks. Okay, I'm going to hold them in the mouse button and turn down some. We're going to click here, go back to edit mode. We're actually going to press and hold the control button, then press R to put a loop cut in. Left click to lock out in one time. We'll pull to the side to get this loop tool to ride back some like that. Left click to lock in. Then we're going to grab here, grab this and just push forward. So I'm just trying to get a little bit more roundness. Cat's muzzle. Go to vertices, push this up, then out, grab here, we'll push this back, we'll select here, pull that back, select there, pull that back. Okay, what we're going to do now is press A to deselect. We're going to click here, go to scope mode. Click here, go to inflate, hold shift and the middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side. Okay, I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom back. I'm going to press F and then pull back to make it a little bit bigger. We're going to use the inflate brush right here. Hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side. The extra geometry gives us a little bit of a smoother shape. I'm now going to click here and then select the smooth brush. Hold the mouse button and turn to the side. A little bit more here. Just holding the mouse button to turn. Okay, what we're going to do now is click here, go to edit mode, roll the mouse wheel to zoom in, hold shift and the middle mouse button to pan, hold the middle mouse button to turn the view. We're going to go to edge select here. We're gonna push forward some, push down some like that, push forward a little bit more. And then I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to hold shift and middle mouse button to pan. Roll the mouse wheel to zoom in some more. I'm going to go to vertice, select this vertice right here. Pull out some there. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button here. Select this vertice inside the nose. Push over some. Push back some. Select this vertice. I'm going to push this back some. Hold the middle mouse button just so I can get a better view. I'm going to select this vertice. Push over some, this vertice, push over some, this one, I'm going to push back some, this one. Just trying to straighten out this nose. So I know it's hard for you to see what I'm doing inside of it. They're kind of, the nose is bunched up a little bit, so basically what I'm doing is I am unbunching the vertices, so I'm kind of like looking to see where they're bunched up. And this is, you know, supposed to be the inside part of the nose, so I'm trying to like get a better shape for it. And what I'm going to do now is go to face select here, 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 as well as here. While holding shift, I'm going to press E to extrude, left click to lock in. I'm going to press S to scale. I'll take this up, back something like that, side a little bit like that. I'll press E to extrude one more time. It's up, back. Vertice select, hold them the mouse button. Just zoomed in to get a closer look. Roll the mouse wheel to zoom back. Pushing up some. This isn't particularly too necessary, you know, since it's inside the nose, but it was kind of bugging me. Just pushing and pulling vertices. I'm going to roll to zoom back, hold the middle mouse button, and then I'm going to tell myself I'm working on the tutorial, so don't get too caught up. Okay, what we're going to do now is zoom in. Go to edge select. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to rotate the view. I'm going to select here, hold shift, and select here just to grab that loop. So when I pressed Alt, I wasn't able to grab the whole loop, and when you're in a situation like that, just hold shift and grab what you need to grab. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to change the view towards us. What we're going to do now is press O to turn on the proportional editing tool, press G so we can see it. Let's roll the mouse wheel to shrink it down. I'm going to left click to get it off of, you know, G. I'm going to press S to scale. Scale just like about like that, and left click to lock in. And now we're gonna click here, go to scope mode, we'll zoom back some. We're gonna click here, go to the grab brush, and we're just gonna pull in something like this. Pull out here a little. Hold them in the mouse button just to take a look. Okay, what we're going to do now is click here, go to edit mode. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to hover my mouse right here. I'm going to hold control and then press R. Left click one time to lock in. Because I only left click one time, I can slide this edge loop. So I'm going to slide it back like this, then left click to lock in. Okay, with this edge loop, I just pushed it back as far as I could take it. Now what I'm going to do is press O to turn off the proportional editing tool, press A to deselect, roll the mouse wheel to zoom in, select here, hold the middle mouse button to turn, select here. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn back this way. Then I'm just going to push forward like that. Hold the mouse button, I roll the mouse button, I zoom back. I'm going to go to vertice, select right here, push forward there, select here, push down, push forward here. Just taking a look. I just rolled the mouse wheel to zoom back and press A to deselect. Okay, what we're going to do now is click here, go to object mode, go to our navigational tab, select front. I'm going to select this eyeball. I'm going to press Shift D, pull to the side just so I know that that eyeball is duplicated, because that's what Shift D does, is it duplicates objects. I'm going to right click to get that eyeball to jump right back. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom right back. You can see right here I'm in front orthographic mode. Remember to, you can get into and out of orthographic mode by selecting this button right here. I am going to press Shift C. What that did was that put the 3D cursor directly in the center. I'm going to hold Shift and the middle mouse button to pan. When I roll the mouse wheel to zoom in, I still have that duplicated eyeball. With that eyeball selected, I'm going to click here, change from Blender's default pivot point, which is the medium point, to the 3D cursor. So with that second eyeball or duplicated eyeball selected, with the 3D cursor right here, as well as the pivot point changed to the 3D cursor, I'm going to press S to scale on the X-axis, -1, and then left click to lock in. Okay, so now we're going to click here and change from the 3D cursor back to Blender's default pivot point, which is the medium point. Now we're going to select back on our cat mesh, because before we were selected on our eye mesh. If by some chance you were selected on the eye mesh and you click here and then go to scope mode, most likely Blender's going to say something about you don't have a uniform scope mode or something like that on. But if you see that, it's probably because you're still selected on the eye mesh. So now we have our cat here. Now we can, really play around. Everything is, for the most part, where it's supposed to be. You can, click your tools and, adjust the brow and the eyes, the mouth. You can easily change the shape. What we're going to do now is we're going to unwrap this and we're going to put a normal map on it, and that we should be very close after that to being done. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click here, go to edit mode. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to look right here. Press A to select everything, A again to make sure that absolutely nothing is selected. I'm going to go to face select. I'm going to press C for paint select, paint this right here. Right click to get out of paint select, press X to bring up our delete menu, then choose faces to delete. Okay, and while we have this angle, I'm going to select vertice. Just push this vertice forward some there. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to change the view. I'm going to hold Shift the middle mouse button to pan and press A to deselect. Select that vertice and pull it back just slightly. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to press A to deselect. Now I'm going to go to edge select. I'm going to hold Shift and the middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to change the view. I'm going to select right here, hold Shift, then select there. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn back. I'm going to hold Shift and select. I'm just holding Shift and just selecting all of these edges. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn back to the front view. Okay, now I'm just going to press Control E to bring up our edges menu. I'm then going to choose Mark Seam to mark the seam so we can UV unwrap this. I'm then going to press A to deselect. Okay, now I'm going to click here, go to Object Mode. I'm going to press Shift D to duplicate this head mesh. I'm going to right click to get it to jump right back. I'm going to press M to bring up our Move to panel layer. I'm then going to select this layer to send the duplicated head mesh to. Then when you look here, you can see we're currently on this layer. However, on this layer, you can see a dot there showing that the duplicated mesh is in that layer. Okay, the reason why we duplicated that layer was so that what we can do now is what we're going to do is we're going to apply this mirror modifier. So now this is one object. However, if we want to easily go back and have the mirror modifier back on, we can just select this layer. So with this layer, with the mirror modifier applied, what we're going to do now is hover our mouse right here. We're going to left click, hold, and drag. Then we're going to select right here and then choose UV image editor. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to click here, go to edit mode. We're going to press A to select everything. We're then going to press U, which brings up our UV mapping menu. We're then going to choose unwrap. We can see our unwrap here. We're going to press R just to rotate that. Then we're going to press G. I'm just going to pull it down some. And left click to lock in. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to click here, go to object mode. We're going to press Shift D and duplicate this yet again. I'll just pull to the side to make sure it's duplicated. I'm going to right click to get it to jump right back. I'm now going to press M to bring up our move to layer. Then I'm going to select this layer right here. So now our duplicated mesh, if I roll the mouse wheel here, is on this layer here. So we're going to click here to select that layer. I am going to, with this head mesh, select this eye to temporarily turn off our subdivision surface. I'm then going to click here and then select the multi-resolution modifier. Okay, with the multi-resolution modifier, we're going to select subdivide at least 4 times. Okay, and now that we have our multi-resolution modifier on and subdivided, what we're going to do is click here, go to scope mode. I'm going to hover my mouse here, then press Shift Space to have that screen that we were on fill up our view here. Okay, we're going to click here. We're going to go to the Clay Strips tool. We're going to press F and shrink our brush some. We're going to hover here, pull this out some. We're going to increase the strength here. What we're trying to do here is to sculpt this mesh to look like it has fur, basically. So just like this is what we want to do. Hold the middle mouse button to turn to the side. And yeah, we're just trying to make it look like there is fur actually in the mesh. Okay, I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and turn towards the back. And the reason why as we sculpt, even though we don't have a mirror modifier on this mesh anymore, the reason why we can see this side being sculpted as we sculpt this side is because when I scroll down here, if I click this arrow, see where it says Symmetry Lock, Mirror X. So inside of sculpt mode, this option is acting very similar to a mirror modifier. So we're just going to continue on. I'm going to press F, shrink my brush a little bit, the ears. Hold the middle mouse button, turn. Hold the middle mouse button to turn again. I'm going to scroll this up. I'm going to increase the strength even more. And as far as your subdivisions, basically the multi-resolution tends to take a lot of power, because the reason why we're able to do this is because of, there's just so many polygons being generated. So just be aware that the more subdivisions you have, the more power your computer is going to have to put out to keep up with this. And normally my computer is good with about 4 subdivisions. I'm going to push it a little. I'm going to press Shift and Space. I'm going to select Subdivide again. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here to take this up to 5. I'm then going to hover my mouse here and press Shift Space. I'm actually going to take my strength up more as well. It just lets me have a little bit more detail here. And what we're going to do is turn this into a normal map. So all of the stuff you see here, not all of it will come through. So you want it to be over exaggerated a little. And basically when I make models, I tend to make them with animation in mind. The reason why we unwrap this was so we can get all of this detail, which if we tried to animate this would, most likely give us a hard time. However, the normal map will allow us to have at least the illusion of this detail, and we'll still, be able to render out frames of this without it taking too long as far as animation purposes. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to press Shift Space. We're going to click here, go to object mode. I'm going to roll my mouse to zoom in. I'm going to hover my mouse right here and then roll the mouse wheel. I'm going to, with this selected, I'm going to press M to bring up our move to layer. I'm going to select this first layer right here. I'm now going to select the first layer, and you can see that orange there because our original layer is overlapping with our detailed layer. As a matter of fact, this is cube 2, so that should be our detailed layer. I believe, let's see, we can press this I and see. So yes, that's our detailed layer. So we're going to double click here, type in detailed mesh, not layer, mesh is what I meant, and we'll hide this, select here, double click here, and we'll put in basic mesh, enter. And with this basic mesh selected, what we want to do now is I'm going to roll the mouse wheel, click here, select edit. I'm now going to go to new. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to name this normal map. Where it says blank, I'm going to click here, I'm going to select color grid, then I'm going to select OK. And what we did was, by putting an image here, we have an image that we can put a normal map on. And a normal map is it's a cool thing that the computer does, where basically it allows you to have more detailed looking geometry, but not actually have that geometry, as strange as that may sound. So what we're going to do now is click here, go to object mode. I'm going to click on our world settings here. I'm going to pull this out just a little. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click this for ambient occlusion, where it says factor 1. I'm going to select here. I'm going to put in 0.25, then left click to lock that in. I'm now going to roll my mouse wheel to zoom out. I'm going to select this light because we don't need it. I'm going to press X to bring up our delete menu, then choose delete. I'm now going to unhide our detailed mesh. Then I roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to press A to select everything, and then A to make sure that nothing is selected. I'm going to scroll this up. I'm going to select our basic mesh there. So I selected our basic mesh from this menu rather than from here, which is fine. We're now going to go to this button, which is our render button. We're going to scroll down to where we see it says bake. We're going to select the arrow here. Scroll down some more. We're going to click here and then select normals. We're then going to make sure we have a check mark next to here, and this actually says selected to active. And with that done, everything else is set up. What we need to do is press A to deselect. We need to select our detailed mesh first, hold shift, select our basic mesh second, which is very important. Then with both of those meshes selected in that order, we just select bake, And if you look here, you can see there's our bar showing the progress of our texture bake. Okay, now you can see here's our normal map. And when you look here where it says image, you can see there's an asterisk sign there, which means that this image isn't saved yet. So we're going to click image. You want to click save as image. I'm going to make up a new folder. And then I'm going to save my normal map to that new folder just by clicking save as image. Okay, now as far as our detailed mesh, we can either move it to another layer or we can just press, I'm going to press A. I'm then going to select the detailed mesh. I'm then going to press X to delete it. Now, the main reason why I deleted it and instead of moving it to another layer was I want you to see the power of normal maps, and so that you know for sure that this smoothness is still here on the regular mesh. However, the normal map is making it appear that, you know, the geometry of the detailed mesh is actually on here, and you know, detailed mesh isn't even in here anymore. I deleted it. However, you're probably better off moving it to another layer instead of deleting it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is hover our mouse here, click and drag. We're going to click here and then select Cycles Renderer. When you start off Blender, you start off with the Blender Render or Blender Internal Renderer, which is very fast. However, Cycles, which we're in now, it takes a little bit longer to render images typically. However, it works very well as far as showing light, and it just tends to make things look generally beautiful. Okay, I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom back. I'm going to right click right here. I'm going to press Shift A to bring a plane in. I'm then going to press S to scale and drag my mouse. Left click to lock in. I'm going to press S to scale, drag it some more. Left click to lock in. I'm then going to press Shift A, bring in another plane. Roll my mouse back a little bit more. Push this down, and this plane right here is basically to have, just scaling this up, is to have light bounce. You know, the light will come from this and then bounce off of this plane right here. Okay, now we're going to select this plane. We're going to go to Materials. We're going to select New. We're going to scroll this down a little bit where it says Diffuse BSDF. We're going to click here. We're then going to select Emission. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to press Shift Z, and there you can see our rendered view right now. I'm going to press Shift Z again. I'm going to click here. Because I have an NVIDIA 630 processor, I can click here and select GPU. I believe you have an NVIDIA 630, and actually I think now you can have a AMD GPU as well, and that Blender will recognize it. Anyway, I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to look for sampling. This sampling determines how clear our image will be, or how clear our preview or our actual render will be. So I'm going to take our render up to 100, and then our preview, I'm going to double click there and also set this for 100. I'm going to go to our world setting. I'm going to turn off ambient occlusion. I'm going to press Shift Z again. I'm going to press Shift Z again. Okay, now what we're going to do is hover our mouse right here, left click and drag to just make a new window. Okay, we're then going to click here and then select Node Editor. We're going to click right here. We're then going to click here on our Materials button and select Use Nodes. Okay, and right now our current main concern, I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to drag this over, is to get our normal map on. So we need to add a couple of nodes. If you look right here, you can see it says add here. So we'll select add. We'll go to input. We'll add a texture coordinate node. We'll select add. We'll go to texture. We'll select an image texture node. Okay, we'll click here and we'll select a vector node. which is the normal map itself. Okay, now that we have our nodes here, what we want to do is look for the texture coordinate and drag out of the UV to the vector. For this image texture, we're going to look for our normal map. Just right here. If you want to see your image, by the way, you can click here and you'll actually be able to, see what your image is. I'll select open image. And the normal map basically makes it look like there's more geometry than there is. However, we don't want the color coming from the normal map, so I'll zoom in so you can see this. See where it says color? You want to click here and select non-color data. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come out from here from the color. You're then going to go into the color for the normal map. And then you're going to come out from the normal map and go to the normal on the diffuse map. Okay, now that that's set up, what I'll do is I'll hover here, my mouse here, and I'll drag this up some. I'll zoom in here so you can see. Then I'm going to press Shift Z. And this is our render mode. And as this number gets up, you can see the image gets clearer and clearer, but you can clearly see there's our normal map right there. Okay, and if you click here, you can make the color whatever you want. My wife Sue says I should make this cat a gray color, so I'm going to click right here. What we're going to do now is I'm going to hover my mouse here, left click and drag, and what we'll do is we'll use this as a window where we can see exactly what's going on in real time as far as colors. However, we will work over in this window. Okay, so I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to select this eye right here. I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to select new. I'm going to click here. I'm going to select mix shader, and if you look here, you can see that whatever I do here is reflected in there, as in this window right here, and likewise, so whatever's done here is reflected over here. So I'm going to go to shader. I'm going to select glossy. I'm then going to click here and select sharp. I'm going to scroll down where this second shader is at. I'm going to click here. I'm then going to select diffuse, and then now that I have this diffuse color, I can click here and I can select the color. And if I zoom in here, you can see right there. I'm gonna I'm gonna scroll up here. By adjusting this right here, this factor, I can control how much of this color is affected by this green right here. So if I take this all the way up, it totally takes over. If I take it down some, then I have the green mixed with the glossy shaders. I'm actually gonna click here, take this a little bit brighter, like that. Okay, now I'm gonna select this eye here. I'm gonna hold shift and select this eye here. Then I'm gonna press Control L, and that brings up the Makes Links menu that you see in front of you now. I can then select materials, and what this will do is link between the first eye I selected, and then it will take from the active, which is the second eye that I selected, and it will apply the materials from the active, which was the second eye that I selected, to the first eye. So we'll just select materials, and then you can see right here that this eye, has the same materials now as this eye here. Okay, what we're going to do now is select back on the head mesh. We're going to click here, go to edit mode. I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to hover the mouse wheel here, and then roll the mouse wheel so I can get to this face select. Then I'm going to select right here. Let me zoom in more. I'm going to hold shift and middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to actually, let me press C for paint select. I'll roll the mouse wheel to shrink this down some. I'll hold the middle mouse button to get rid of that. Hold the middle mouse button here to get rid of that. And then what I'm going to do is move this up. I'm going to select the plus that's to the right of our material here. I'm then going to select new. And then I'm going to scroll down. I am going to click here and click a, not quite black, but almost black. I'll click here, then I'll select assign. And then you can see, oh, that's darker than I want it. So I'll actually take this up some. That looks better, like that. Okay, what I'm going to do now is press A to deselect. I'm going to zoom back. I'm going to press should we go here? I'm going to select this plus to the right again. I'm going to press C for paint select. Select all of this right here. Hold the middle mouse button to get rid of that. I'll right click to get out of paint select. I'll press C for paint select again. This right here. Right click to get out of paint select. Hold the middle mouse button to rotate the view. C for paint select again. Hold the middle mouse button to rotate the view. Zoom in, I'll hold shift and select to get this right here as well. Hold the middle mouse button to turn. Okay. Okay, and we'll also hold shift and select this as well. Okay, now that we have our area selected, when you look here, this is the original material, so you want to make sure you're not on that. You want to make sure you're on the new material, so you click here. So then we'll select new here. Then we'll select here. Let's try around here. Then we'll select assign, and then you can see the color right there. It's a little bit darker. Once it's assigned, you can change your color, and it will the assigned color will change automatically. Okay, so what we're going to do is roll the mouse wheel back and press A to deselect. I'm going to press C for paint select. I'm going to select all of this right here. I'm going to right click to get off of that. I'm going to press C, paint all this right here. Right click to get off of that. Let me zoom in here. I'm going to hold shift and the mouse button to pan. Okay, let me press C for paint select and select all of this. Right click to get out of paint select. I'm going to hold shift and middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to press C for paint select. Right. And even though I have paint select on, I'm still just clicking to select. I'm going to right click to get out of that. Okay, with those faces selected, I'm going to scroll up, then we'll select the plus right here. We'll select new. Okay, with these faces selected, we'll select new. Then we'll select new from here. We'll scroll down, select here, make this a little bit darker. Then we'll select assign. I think I'm going to make it a little bit darker. And I like how that looks there. Okay, what I'm going to do now is hover my mouse here. I'm going to left click and drag that way. I'm then going to hover my mouse here, left click and drag up. I'm then going to roll my mouse back. Okay, I'm going to press A to deselect. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel back to zoom back. I'm going to hold shift and the middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to turn the view. Okay, now I'm going to hold shift and press Z. Okay guys, that's it for the tutorial. For all of those of you out there who like the videos on this channel and reshare them, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Also on my home page, I have a support button where you can give a donation of any amount, which would be greatly appreciated, and it gives me more time to make more tutorials. Also, to those of you out there who have donated already, thank you greatly. I really appreciate it. And to those of you who are new to this channel, if you like the videos on this channel and you would like to see more, please subscribe, and thank you for viewing.